Hi there, I'm Nick. Welcome to this new series. I'm going to be building a flatbed and eventually a truck camper that's going to be removable for my 2004 Tundra. So if you've already been following for a while, you know this is mainly motorcycle stuff, but I do a lot of stuff here in the shop, and part of this truck camper is going to be able to haul my motorcycles to some cool places and do some camping with the truck as well as the bike.
Set it down for a second?
Yeah.
Now we're fun.
Here's stuff in that.
Oh, it's cutting into my finger.
Bed is off the truck. I picked up some metal. I'm going to be going with some 2" by 2" tubing as well as some 2" by 1" tubing for, I think it's going to be my cross supports. I'm still figuring it out as I go along. But now I've got this sort of mocked up to where I have both of these rails following the profile of the frame, which the frame tapers in towards the back of the bed. So my subframe is going to sit on top of the frame, lift it up on some feet, and it will actually not be square, but the frame that sits on top of that will be square. It'll be a rectangle. So now what I need to do is make sure I have my angles all correct and that I can cut everything to the correct angle so that I end up with a flat back. Burning its way through. All right, this is gonna be my leg design. So this will get welded up and this is what's gonna sit against the truck frame and mount the new flatbed against the frame. So what I'm gonna need to do is cut a slot on the side here so that I can put a bolt in and then make a few more. So I got my little feet made, and I needed some bolts to put them on the truck bed mounting locations. And the original bolts are just super, super long, so there's no way that's going to work. So I figured that these bolts that hold on the hitch receiver, those are the same size. And so I've got one in there. And so you can kind of see this little slot is what's going to allow me to put the bolt in there and tighten it once the top rail is on. Just snugging these down so that I can get everything lined up. I'm not going to really get them super tight just yet. It's always a good idea to drop your square or your straight edge and then not know if it's still straight. morning. I've got the flatbed partially assembled. I'd say the main structure is mostly assembled. And today I'm gonna go take a look at some used airbags for helping my leaf springs in the back. There's a guy on Marketplace in my area that's selling a bunch of takeoff airbags, and I'm gonna go check out what he's got and see if I can make some work. Love to save a little bit of cash there, get something used versus hundreds more on something brand new. So what I need to do to make the truck legal is get these taillights mounted and wired, and then I need to probably just zip tie my license plate on there and secure the fuel filler. And once I have those things done, I can take it out to this guy, and that way I can kind of test fit the airbags in person. Then if it works, I'll bring it back to the shop and we'll finish up the flatbed and also get those airbags installed. So I'm gonna get those taillights installed and we're gonna check this out. These are the lights that I picked out, and they have just 2 mounting holes on the back. So I'm just gonna drill the 2 mounting holes as well as a hole for that wire grommet and get these mounted where I want them. And then I'm gonna get some Deutsch connectors and cut off the factory connector and replace it with a waterproof connector. The one I use are called Deutsch connectors, or knockoff version of some Deutsch connectors. Anyway, tail lights going in. So here's my finished up Deutsch connector. It's got the watertight fitting on the back, and yeah, here's how the taillights are looking. So I picked up some sheet metal. That's going to be the top, and it's 14 gauge, so it's going to run long ways. And I'm going to cut both sheets equally so that my seam's in the center. And I just got 4x8 sheets. I probably could have found something a little bigger. I don't know if there's anything that's 7 feet wide, but most of the time I'm going to have something on the flatbed, and I may end up TIG welding the seam together in a few spots. We'll see how it looks. But yeah, so next step I think is going to be to start finishing off some of these welds. I just have it tacked in for now, so need to finish off some of these welds. Some other things that I want to do is the drawer that's going to go here. I still don't have drawer sides for that, but I could start building the box of the drawer. I also want to do some trim or aesthetic pieces around the wheels. I love the flatbed, but the look, it's got this like dorky vibe to me, and I really want to fix that by bringing it down here and then maybe add some storage in front of and behind the wheel. I think eventually we're going to have a diesel heater that'll go in the camper, and so I'm trying to think about stuff that in the future would be nice to have. I also picked up some airbags to help me with my leaf springs that are a little bit weak on this truck. And so when I start adding a bunch of weight on here, if we put, you know, the 10 array and maybe 3 10 arrays on the back, the truck sags like crazy. And so I'll be able to add in some air valves and lift up the back whenever I need to. This steel is way heavier than it looks. Can't even get my finger under it. Try and go on from the side. Oh, holy cow. I don't know if this is gonna work. Crush my toes. Sketchy stuff. Felt like I was gonna cut through my boots.
All right, made my 4 big cuts on these 2 sheets, and I gotta say I'm pretty stoked on how this came out. From, you know, this thing's pretty close to square. I wouldn't say it's exactly perfect, and then I had to cut the sheets with a skill saw, just following a straight line. So I'm pretty stoked that this is my seam. This is both of my cut edges butted up together, and then I put the factory or the fabricated edge on the outside. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. The corners look really good. I ended up like a little bit off here, but I'm not really gonna worry about that. I think that's maybe just how out of square this whole rectangle is. And honestly, there's gonna be probably some kind of headache rack situation and eventually the camper, so I'm really not worried about it. And I'm pretty stoked that this is how it's looking so far.
One of the things that I didn't really get too much of a chance to film is adding the storage boxes that are also acting as kind of a rear fender. So these are actually trailer tongue boxes from Harbor Freight, and I had to modify them a little bit to fit where the leaf spring shackles mount. So I had to cut a little hole back here and weld a piece back onto the box itself so that I had room for my leaf springs. But overall, I think the fit is awesome, and it adds quite a bit of storage to the back of the flatbed. The latch is up underneath here, and it's got a little gas strut to hold it open. You can see in here where I kind of cut and fabricated it a little bit. There's the shackle. So yeah, really stoked on how these ended up fitting. I went for 2, so got an identical one on this side. Yeah, it's a great little storage. Keep some tie downs in here just in case. They are locking. I have a key for both of them. And yeah, I think once the camper's on there, that's gonna add a nice little bit of storage. I am still planning to make like a little fender wall that goes around here, little wheel well kind of thing. And I think we still need a little bit of cleaning up on the gas filler. It doesn't right now let me take my hand off of the pump. I have to hold it, so I want to adjust that so that it's sticking out a little bit farther, and then I won't have to hold the gas pump because that's pretty annoying. I also made these removable bed sides that are hinged in 2 different spots, and then they go on with these latches. And so there's 3 sides. I still need to make a panel for the rear. And yeah. So now I can still use it as a pickup truck when I need to. And eventually I'm going to paint those black to match the bottom, but yeah. That's it for this video. I'm going to make another video about the next step on the flatbed. I still need to make the drawer for the back here, and there's a few other things I want to show, like how I installed my airbags to level the back. But that's going to be on the next one. I appreciate you guys for watching and making it through. And drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.